Hello, and welcome to Metachemistry. This is episode 146, and we're back with a Winner Circle episode. These are episodes where we take a look at a major Infinity event, typically a satellite, and we bring on their winner to talk about how they did, what their experiences were, how the event went, and ultimately how you can potentially emulate that success. And for this episode, we're talking about Salt Lake Showdown 9. And the winner was none other than friend of the channel, Azoka. So congratulations, buddy. Well done.
Woohoo! Yay!
Thank you.
Yeah, good to have you back.
Good to be back. Surprised to be back annually.
Right? It's just your event, I guess, right?
Yes, I own Salt Lake now. I am the saltiest of the players.
Yeah, that's how you get it. But before we get ahead of ourselves, I want to take a moment to thank Mo Games, sponsor of Metachemistry. You can find them over at mo-games.com, and as part of their sponsorship of the show, all of our paid level patrons get a 10% discount code to that store. And in addition, whether you're a patron or not, if you're on our Discord, you can join for the Mo Giveaways roll for our monthly giveaway for a $40 coupon code. You just join the Discord, which is free, hit the Mo Giveaway roll, and once a month we raffle that off. You just need a United States address for that to ship to. Because what's them games? Mo Games. And also, the Krug looms ever closer, coming up at the beginning of August this year. And Ian, do you want to go over the details for our listeners on that?
Absolutely. So the Corvus Belly Krug is coming up in Denver, Colorado from October 1st through 4th. It's going to be at the Convention Center, which is really awesome. Looking to host about 150 players. And it's going to be a 7-round tournament over 3 days. So hit up the Discord and for more details. And we're looking at getting just a whole bunch of awesomeness going on. Official support from Corvus Belly. Lots of cool prizes. And more details, including hotels and everything else is going to be there. So come out to the Krug, and it's going to be an awesome time. It's also the oldest and longest running Infinity tournament in the world.
Yeah, super excited. I feel like the event gets better every year, so
It does.
A lot of fun stuff planned for this one.
I suspect that this one will be the first to disappoint either. I know a lot of the guys working on it, and they're working pretty hard. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah,
absolutely. So, that said, Salt Lake Showdown, you went in and you were playing Vanilla Combined, or were you back on Onyx at this point?
Man, I wish I was on Onyx, but no, I was playing Vanilla Combined. I was playing Onyx for a bit there a few months ago, and I was like, Vanilla just does it better. I'm so sad. So, playing Vanilla.
It's mostly true.
Well, also, I guess there should be something else to be said that I wanted to play some models that I have won or been given over the course of my career. One such being a avatar that was for the first Salt Lake Showdown that we did. Beautiful piece painted by Shane. And then the other one was the one that you yourself put together, Devin, last year for Krug. Yeah, so I was like, oh, it'd be so cool if I could play both of these lists, or both of these models in a list for an event and actually allow them to get some table time. And I mean, hey, I guess you guys just did good work.
Nice. In the same list, of course, right? Avatar and Athletic list, classic combo.
Yeah, classic. Affordable, cheap.
Yeah. Efficient.
Yeah. No, two different lists. I'll happily share them with you guys, and we can go over them. But unfortunately, I didn't even play the Avatar list at all during the event.
Oh.
So, yeah, I was humorously bummed about that.
Yeah, and would you say that just because, was that due to, I mean, obviously you knew the missions ahead of time, but was it just table wise, it just didn't really pan out, or you felt like your other list had the tools that the one lacked, and you never needed what the Avatar brought?
Admittedly, it was because of opponent's skill. They're
So your handicap list.
not necessarily. I mean, perhaps, but the best thing that I can say in regard to that is that, like, I was going to play the Avatar round 5, but I was playing Josh B, and he knows how to deal with the Avatar, and I knew his list, and I was like, I can't play the Avatar because if I play the Avatar, pretty sure I just lose.
Sure.
And then I wanted to make sure I gave Josh a really good game if I did lose. But
Fair enough.
that and like Achiel and Supremacy is a little hard to play Avatar on. And then I was kind of the factions that I was playing against. Round 4, I mean, I'll talk about them later, but round 4 was like Caledonia. And I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure the Avatar might just get crunched against Caledonia, so I'm not going to do that. And it was provisioning. But so ultimately,
Sure.
lists, players, faction table.
Gotcha. Fair enough. So, as far as the event itself, that was just this past weekend. In fact, this is we're getting this out just on the tail of the event. And it was the 20th and 21st of June.
Should be. It was
19th and
19th and 20th because Utah doesn't do Sundays.
That's right.
No, they don't.
Yeah, so this past Friday, Saturday, as of recording. And what did your prep look like going into this event? Like, how long had you been prepared for going? And did you make any special preparations other than just trying things out? What did that look like for you?
You know, I wish that I had a like insightful thing to say here, but unfortunately I don't. My biggest prep was playing a 5-round tournament in New Mexico like 3 weeks prior. I played at Rio Grande Retribution, and I played a Avatar list and a Kodali Keskuda list. And then I've been playing games sort of weekly before then. But about for the past 3 weeks or so, I didn't really do anything for Salt Lake Showdown, and I don't feel like I've been doing a super rigorous training or setup that I normally have done, which is odd for my experience. Just life gets in the way, and work gets to the head. So sometimes it makes playing games a little difficult to happen.
For sure. So mostly it was that at least you had had some time to try out the lists, if not say missions, and so you kind of had a little bit of that muscle memory, as it were.
Yeah. And I will also point out that I was really struggling getting the anathematic to fit into an Achiel list, because there's no way I play Achiel with the Avatar, right? I just don't think that that's possible.
But it's rough.
But I was like, you know what? I want to play the anathematic because that was another one prize that looks very good. And I had Josh B, my 5th round opponent, just make the list for me, and he made it and sent it to me, and I'm like, this is great.
You fool!
Yeah, it's
share your
own downfall.
What is that meme? The goat asks for the horns that could defeat his greatest rival, but little did he know he was he, and the horn just like grows back into his skull. I also didn't want to play Sheeskin or Achilles for this event because I played them for the last event, and I, break it up a little bit. But Vanilla Combined really has to have Sheeskin or Achilles in there, I feel. They're just too good. So
yeah, they're really nice attack pieces. That's all they do. They do it really well.
Yep, so good at it. Moving 6'4" and being an S2 with nanoscreen. That's pretty good.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. And so, do you want to talk about some? Well, I guess they weren't really your choices per se. Did you modify the lists that Josh Bosch had sent you at all?
Yes, a bit, yeah. So initially in the anathematic list, I guess a quick overview breakdown of the Annie list is that you have the Annie and Shiskin, just like I had mentioned, as well as let me pull it up so I'm not doing it by memory. I had my avatar list pulled up, and that's not what we need right now. In addition to them, you have Bit and Kiss, a couple of Dotarazi, your standard animatronic drawn package, Glyph War Core, a Rindak FTO instead of the forward deployment one, and I'll talk. That's like one of the edits that I made, and then the bugs, the operators. So a Vector, a base, Vector, and 2 base. So 1 engineer and 1 hacker. So initially, when he had sent this, it had Sasha in it, and Sasha's great. I love Sasha quite a bit, but it felt a little awkward. Like the list just doesn't really have much defense. Some people might look at the Vector operator and be like, "Oh, what do you mean? It's a sniper with MIM 3 and MSV 2. It's phenomenal at defense." But I have come to learn that 1 wound defensive models get dumpstered by any HMG, so it makes me sad.
It can be hard, yeah.
Yeah, it can be difficult. Fortunately, the Rindak is 2 points for the FTO. Like you gain 2 points if you go down from forward observer to FTO, and that is enough to bump up the Sasha to a Liberta, which really helps.
Combined Army Classic.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, very cool. And it's the Mind Layer, of course, because I like that's really the one worth taking.
Yes, the Mind Layer.
Yeah, very cool. And, I like that there's still good synergies there. And I agree. Like the Vector looks like a defensive piece, but just really is not. Like it's one of those things you don't want that to be your main ARO top of 1 type piece. Like I think it can hold down lanes later on, but it's just so risky. And you obviously, with the extra roll, have no way to recover it, which sucks. And Armor 3 is still Armor 3, and it can lose gunfights and take a crit. That dumpsters your fire team.
Yeah.
I will say the extra rule is amazing because I don't have to think about unconscious. I just pick the model up.
Yeah, there is some benefit there in terms of just mental overhead. Worth a speedball? Can I get something else over here?
And it's not available for your opponent to do classifieds on.
Yeah.
The hidden power.
like seriously, because with some of them are pretty fast, and isn't it this Sasha that can do the not Sasha, the mercenary one that can do the Samsa.
Yeah.
Doesn't that have like infiltration?
Yes.
Yeah. So look, my thing's up here and it went down. Nope, you're not getting that classified because it's dead.
Very good for stuff like Akiel.
Yeah.
Yeah. A nice tertiary benefit sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about profiles or units going down and not being able to do it. My whole second game, I was like, all I need to do is do data scan. Just need to pass a willpower roll on a dead dude or an unconscious person. Why do they keep dying?
Right. Stop shooting them with plasma.
Funny story about plasma here at round 4. I'll tell you.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. All right. So we know that the anathematic list was what you ran through the whole event. So I don't know if there's a whole lot of value going over the avatar list, but we will have it in the show notes just so it's available. But we have the lineup, which was superiority, hardlock, and Akiel interference, and then provisioning and area of interest. And so, what did day 1 look like for you running this list?
Right. So day 1, It was a bummer. Well, okay, round 1 was a bummer. And I don't mean this because my opponent is someone I dislike playing. He's someone I love playing. But it was Josh Nordstrom, who is in our local meta, who I play regularly. I played him at Rio.
Going into another state and to a big tournament and then playing against the guy that you play every week anyway.
Yeah. Right.
Like, how many times have you and I played each other at
Salt Lake several. Showdown? And
like 3.
Don't get me wrong. Some of those games are some of my favorite games that I've played.
Yeah. But you're also like, but I can play you at home. I came here to play new people.
Yeah. I think most of our games were like round 3 and stuff. So I think that really just goes to show that we were really similar in skill level.
Yeah, it was like round 3 and 4 was when we were usually hitting each other. But it looks like you got Josh on the random round 1.
Yeah. Hey, true random be like that sometimes.
Sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But this was superiority, which is zone control. And Josh also knows my list. We were talking about it beforehand. He's like, "Do you play the Avatar?" And I was like, "I don't think I do, but maybe." And then we kind of waffled for it for a second because the Avatar in superiority is a ton of points in one zone. Your opponent isn't getting that zone, but can you get the other zones? So ultimately, I thought, well, the anathematic just gets in a zone and does the same thing almost, right? And has the rest of the list to actually go and control the other zones. He was playing Next Wave, and I knew I had to deal with Teucer. And oh boy, the table that we walked up to, there was nowhere for me to hide the Avatar. So I'm like, if you go first and just like play Feuerbach Teucer, I'm pretty sure I cry. But and one side was definitely better than the other. It was really, really open. Long range totally had a dominant factor of the map. One thing I did like is they had terrain rules, which heck yes, love that. Where there was a puddle in the center of the table and some palm trees, and the table rules were trees are saturation zone and puddle is hard, difficult, aquatic. Like, cool.
Sure. Yeah.
But it did make the game pretty interesting. So I think that I got very lucky in this game with Josh. And while things were maybe statistically average and I just got the better side of that average, I think that had they gone the other way and in like one order, the game would be completely different. And to elaborate on that, he was playing a Skyhound, Teucer, Blackheart ARO, and Harbinger ARO, so Missile and Panzerfaust. That, you know, the Blackheart's incredibly durable. And then Puzzler as well, you know, Gearhead and Gearhead Hacker. And then a Contrabandal Arrow. My first turn is fairly simple. I use the bugs to shoot the Harbingers and try to go and fight the Blackheart for a minute. I spend my lieutenant order on the anathematic and just be like, get in the zone, go be untouchable. This is great. And then move Sheeskin to go and take a couple of free wounds off of poor Sasha. So I basically secure a strong defensive position and then set up with like my last order in group 2, which is where the bugs are. I try to fight the Blackheart and put it down. I win the fight, but I fail or he passes the armor saves. And I set my bug up to fight in the saturation zone. So, you know, you don't want to be on the active turn in saturation zone. So this added to the value of the bug a little bit. So then on his turn 2, it turns out that the vector was a complete pain. And the line that it was watching was where his Skyhound would go. And the Skyhound just, you know, is going to very likely lose to a fight against an MSV2 creature, right? But he since the Blackheart was still alive, he brought it up and just shot the vector 4 times in a row and failed, but passing his armor saves, and then succeeded but I passed my armor save and then failed again. And he was just like, how many more orders do I put in this? And, it was a rough question. So he kind of thinks about his turn and moves the Skyhound over. And it's just like, well, I'm just going to have to risk it because if I can move the he had to score a zone, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he moves the Skyhound up and is like, I'll just take some shots at the Vector and blows the Vector away. The Vector rolls like 16, 19, 20. And then he rolled, I don't know, like a one success, which was enough. And then the Vector disappeared. And I was like, look at that. That was pretty cool. Blackheart can't do it. And the Skyhound's like, fine, I'll do it myself.
Yep.
And so then he continued on a little bit and shot at, I had an Icodron around one of the corners that was sort of safe. It was like a pseudo building that we basically said that this is a building because if it's not, there's nowhere to be. But he moves over and shoots at my Imatron that is, the flyers can see God. They can see everyone pretty much. So they see one of the Imatrons and the Icodron and takes a couple of shots. But the Icodron gets lucky and crits his dodge into a untouchable location. So that second turn is basically the tipping point of the game because after that, it's just, Sheskin is on a flank and she can go up and, fight Tusser and whatnot. But if his Blackheart wins that fight against my Vector in one order, then his Skyhound would have been able to basically shoot my entire backline because of how the table was set up. So, very lucky on that aspect. I will not deny that. Though we did hit the middle of my turn 2, and then the judge was like, I think it was like 30 minutes remaining, and I was like, oh my God. So I just quickly, stopped thinking about my turn so that Josh can not get, no turn 3 because he's going second.
Sure, yeah.
So I quickly run out the Skin to go and, do exactly what I said. And she gets dumpstered by the Blackheart and dies, from 4 to 0. Wow. And I was like, hell yeah, this is great. And then Josh does his turn, and he's trying to be quick too, right? So, I mean, if we had an extra 15 minutes, because they were 2-hour rounds, I think Josh would have had a little bit more time to think more clearly about his games. I'm not saying I slow played him, but I definitely didn't fast play him.
Sure, yeah.
So then we ended that game 6-me for Josh.
Yeah, I mean, that's still really close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, poor Shiskin. Keops is so good on Shiskin or Achilles and the like.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was dodging on 18s with Shiskin.
Yeah.
Nice. No, I'm actually really happy that you've been enjoying all of the extra stuff because super happy that those made their way back into the game because they're just such cool models and cool rules concepts and stuff with a lot of what they do. So super cool.
I love the bugs. In every single list that I've ever built with Vanilla Combined or Onyx, bugs are in there.
Yeah,
for sure.
They do. I wish they had a little bit better tags, for fire team composition, but
yeah,
I think they're fine. Fine and fun.
Yeah. Victory over next wave. Anything that in particular that stood out beyond that? I know obviously you mentioned the kind of tipping point in terms of, if the Skyhound had a lot more orders, but were there any other notable things that jumped out at you?
Oh, yes. Well, okay. Notable things is Josh plays good. He I was moving up Shiskin to go and deal to fight an M drone, and I'm like, I'm just gonna go up the side, and he reveals a contraband arrow and zappers her, and I'm like, you suck, because if I fail, if I just shoot this M drone, I'm pretty sure I'm done for. So I dodge, and he zappers, and then the M drone shoots me, and the M drone beats. So Shiskin rolls a 3 to dodge. And then them drone rolls like an 8. And she passes her armor save and lives, but she's still in Zapper range. So it's like, well, what do I do now? So, yeah. And then she skin dodged 2 more times, rolling 3s each time. So I got the beautiful 3 dodge rolls, each rolling 3s.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny.
It's like,
It would have been really
Of all
funny
the
if Josh
numbers.
was playing Toha this
I
time.
know.
And said, I am the ultimate Toha player.
I could have. That would have been
Well, you
funny.
needed to have like a Mac rep or something in there just to rub it in and be like, my Toha are better than your Toha.
I wish.
Right.
So hard do I wish.
Yeah. So, round 2 then.
Hardlock. I played Tony from Utah, T-Pain,
Mm-hmm.
and he was playing Starmada. I was expecting him to play OSS. But no,
Yeah,
he
he's
played
historically
Starmada.
played OSS.
Yeah.
He does like his O12 stuff though.
Yeah, and he's okay. Let me tell you, I was sweating this game because we started a little late. This is not like why I was sweating. We choose we roll initiative, I win, and I choose deployment, and I choose what I think is the better side. Boy, I don't think there was the right choice because I think both sides were rough. But he goes first, and Hardlock, all you need to do is touch the buttons, right? He moves an M drone like across the whole board, and my list is designed to allow you to do that. And he moves it over to the anathematic and censors the anathematic. And I'm like, okay, all right, very cool. And then he's playing Shona Carano, and she moves 6-4. And I'm like watching him move over to her, and I'm like, oh no. And he like moves through a terrain zone. They had like, I'm pretty sure that these were made for the old ITS seasons where you had a terrain zone, saturation zone, the area thing. Because he had, whoever made the table had a fire hydrant spewing water on the floor as the perfect circular temple or circular template. And that was an aquatic zone and saturation zone. And then he had another thing that was just like city trash in there, and it was a saturation zone and terrain jungle. And I was like, urban jungle. I like that. But Shona just runs through the terrain zone, like, you know, it's like nothing's nothing. She's like, yeah, I'll stop. I'll still get to you. She gets to the anathematic, dumpsters him, and then I swap the lieutenant over to Bennett, who is fortunately perfectly 8 inches away from Shona. So then she, jumps over and just dumpsters Bit. And he also revealed a MIM3 sniper to shoot one of my R drones. So he's up on consoles and just up on kills, and Shona's in my business, and I play my turn. And at this point, I had spotlit Shona, and she never reset. So it did feel really good to shoot Shona on 21s with She-Skin. I was like, ooh, this is nice.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So she goes down, fairly easily. I deal with one of the snipers, but ultimately just don't get a crazy footing on the board. I move She-Skin up pretty far to go take a couple of fights. They fight. He's got 4 snipers in this list, 2 Kappa snipers in a pure core. The Epsilon sniper, and then whatever the MIM3 camo sniper is. I don't MSV1.
Vidonk, I believe.
Yeah, that one. And then he's playing 3 infiltrators. 2 of the nightshades. I think it's 1 nightshade and 2 like forward observer. Yeah, 2 Sarko. I'm glad you know this faction.
Yes, I have dabbled.
But he was playing those, and they're right up on there, and he's touching buttons and stuff, and She-Skin goes up and deals with a couple of those and one of the snipers. And then the vectors kill the Vidoc because poor boy doesn't do well against plasma. So, anyways, I secure a moderate position, and then he takes his turn 2, and it's pretty fine. It doesn't do anything super crazy, but he does put down Shiskin, and I'm just like, I've got a board that's not really approachable, and then the judge calls like 25 minutes left, and I was like, oh no, this is turn 2, 25 minutes left. And I was like, hey, Tony, are we going to turn 3 or are we just going to end it at turn 2? And he said, we're going to end it at turn 2. That way, you can get your turn to think about it, whatever. And I'm like, all right, great. So I spend 15 minutes thinking about how the heck I can have a chance at this game because he's got snipers looking at every single button and like the Epsilon's there and it's just, looking daunting. But fortunately, I'm sitting in this chair talking to you guys because I found the solution.
That's
I spent like 15 minutes putting down silhouettes and being like, I can cautious move here. And if this is 6 inches, I can cautious move here. And then I can do this, and I can make one roll on the console. And then if that succeeds, I can win. And I did exactly that. I used the Rindak to climb down a building. So he just cautious move, boom, cautious move, boom. So I spent like 5 orders cautious moving up to the console, and then press it and succeed. And then I'm like, all right, now we're tied because he had 2 consoles and I took 1 from him. Great, we're tied. Now I just got to go and do the Hail Mary of sending up the base operator hacker who had the anathematics consciousness in it, or the EI's consciousness. So I'm like, all right, you got 4 orders because you got that lieutenant order or whatever. So he does a move and a dodge and then a cautious move, and then I'm like, all right, this is it. This is the last order, and he moves, and whip 16 is a hell of a drug. So I was able to get the middle one as well, securing a 6-1 victory.
Yeah, that's solid. And
nice.
I love hearing this blow by blow because I've played both of you several times, and just like hearing kind of like the development in the play styles. Because several years back I played Tony, and I was playing Cosmo, and he was running 012, and he had his Epsilon prone and gave me, which was the thing that, because I had so much smoke in that list. You remember that list?
Yeah,
it was ridiculous.
It was nuts.
So much smoke in it, and the Epsilon was the only thing he had that had the MSV2, and he had it prone because he was playing too cautious, and he just gave me free reign. I rolled over him like it was nothing. Like every time we see each other, he's like, I still have like PTSD flashbacks to that game. So like seeing him like take a lot of that stuff and developing his play style and like, having that up, and then like, with his infiltrators and stuff like that, like that's really cool. And then on the other side of it, just masterful on you for the use of cautious move because it's so easily forgotten. And I love that you've made that part of your repertoire. And that is the solution here. Because I mean, I still remember the games that we played where you were taking unfavorable fights to get past the thing, and it's just like, oh, I could just cautious move. It's like, yes. And then now it's like it's there, and you just like used it to turn a game completely around, and that is amazing.
Yeah. Well, thanks. Without it, I wouldn't have. There was not a chance in
I think it's just so easily forgettable as an option because people get too hung up on the arrow thing, and it's like, well, you actually have an option if you think about it to sometimes just avoid the arrow, and then as you move a little slower, but you don't. It takes the risk factor out, and it's just people forget it exists.
Yeah, I'd rather move slower and not die than just die.
Yeah,
right. Exactly. I mean, it's not as fun as pew-pewing things, but
very true.
That's not always what wins you games.
Yep.
Yeah, and hats off to Tony for like making me sweat. After his turn 1, I was like, brother, that was skilled.
That sounds pretty awesome. So yeah, then to round out day 1 with Akio, Notably, such a lightweight and non-thought intensive mission.
Yes, Achiel is very easy, very nice to close out round 3. I was talking with one of our local players, Jake, about it, and he had mentioned like, "Oh, rough Achiel for round 3. I hate that." And I had brought up, well, it'll separate the skilled players from the flock, right? Because it's a true test of endurance to see if you can think that hard at that end of the day. And that was really my saving grace against this opponent. I played Sean, who is on Discord as Anti-Pansy, or that's his, maybe not Discord, but his ITS name. And his icon was a Spike from Cowboy Bebop. And I'm like, you son of a bitch. I love that. But he said he was new. And he's like, yeah, I just got, in the Bay Area, or not the Bay Area, like Los Angeles. Wow. Okay. Over in LA, he's trying to get like a crew going and like some Southern California people going. And I'm like, that's great. Thanks for coming out. So excited to play you. And he's like, yeah, I've been playing for just a year. This is my first tournament. I'm like, okay, cool. And then we like play our initiative rolls and pick sides and whatnot, and then he is playing Talk, and I couldn't tell you everything he has because I don't know the faction well enough. I can tell you he had two of the dog warriors. No, are they dog? Okay, and then 2 tank hunters and 2 decoy troopers in the midfield.
That would be Strelux.
Yeah, 2 Strelux, and then Vasily, a tractor mule, and then the tractor mule with the speculative fire AP shock. The
Katyushka.
Yes. Yeah.
That one. And then a Vistral and Dozer and Ermendino.
Which Vistral?
The sniper Vistral.
Disappointed.
Same. Trust me, same. And you know how much I love Vistrals.
Yeah.
And then he had a Dynamo.
Okay.
So he plays his first turn, and I was like, "Are you sharking me?" Because he moves his tank hunter like perfectly in a way to pick off some of my dudes who are just barely out of position, and then he's like spec firing with his Katyusha at my Imatron and stuff, and I'm like, brother, you are scaring the heck out of me. Stop it.
So is the strategy here to tell your opponents that you're new so they underestimate and don't apply themselves as well? So that might be the thing.
Yeah, just go first time ever at Dogfinity. I've only been playing for a year.
It's my first tournament. Kicking face in.
Just like that.
I mean, he definitely was new, but it just goes to show that, the boy's got talent.
Awesome.
So his first turn, it was very good, but he didn't do the mission. He didn't play Achiel. And to be fair, the classifieds that got flipped for him were terrible for him. It was like secure HVT, with an elite trooper one, so it had to be his tank hunters pretty much. And then
sure.
And then another like a hacking one, and it's just like, that's rough, buddy.
Yeah, because the only option really is the war driver,
which he did have, yeah,
but it's not. It's awesome. I love the war driver, but it's hard to do some of those classifieds with it.
100%, true, 100%. But he did a good amount of killing and fighting and stuff. And ultimately, I mean, my turn was just responding to it and scoring one objective, just one simple one that I could do, the hacker one, and then having Sheeskin go and engage one of the dog warriors that had run towards me. And tack gets you, dude, because I was going to position my my Vector, because I was like, you know what? The Vector can actually fight or provide a little bit of bonus in tack. I know he's got tank hunters and they're good, so maybe one of those camo markers is going to have to spend a lot of orders to take out my Vector, and that could be worth it. but he had I like deployed my model, and I was like, yeah, this guy's looking over here, and then he was like, what about this camo marker that can see your dude? And I was like, oh, you're right, I'll put him back a little bit. It was a freaking decoy. So
Love
I
it.
love that shell game. Oh yeah, dude. So Shiskin goes and eats a wound off of the dog warrior. The dog warrior had dodged into close combat with the Rindak. So Shiskin goes in with burst 3, crits him 3
Nice.
times, and he
Ooh.
takes 1 wound, and I'm like, dude, sweet.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, so they're engaged and whatnot, and then he takes his second turn, and he spends a lot of time doing speculative fire, but they just don't pan out for him. Like, he succeeds, but I pass the armor save, and then he fails.
Yeah, it can be really damaging, but it's also really risky because the success threshold's so low.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I don't quite remember exactly what classifieds got pulled up on the second rounds and later, but one of them was like industrial espionage, which was just impossible for me to get and impossible for him to get, really. So I got lucky with some other hacker ones, so I just was able to just move the anathematic up and do that sort of thing. I had the anathematic fight the visceral in 0 range, and that felt really good. And then yeah, we just kept going, and he lost steam, and he even said this. He was like, yeah, at the third round I was just focused on killing, and I didn't do as much of the objectives as he would have liked. So endurance is a skill. Is it a skill?
I mean, whatever. It's a skill, trait, talent, a feat.
2 of them.
But yeah, I mean, it's definitely something notable to be able to maintain concentration with kind of the taxing game that is Infinity for that extended period of time. And yeah, that's an easy way to start making mistakes if the fatigue starts setting in, and it happens.
Mm-hmm.
But things are looking pretty. Wrapping up day 1. And then in day 2, we went on to provisioning.
Yeah. So this is the fun plasma story. I was playing against Pete. So I got the pair down in the tourney. Pete was 2-1, and I was low scoring OP but high scoring TPs. So I played him, and he was playing Caledonia. So back to back Ariadna. Let's go. And this list and board, I was like, I can't really play the Avatar against, so it's just not really going to happen. But so we are playing on a beautiful new table that Michael Klein from New Mexico put together. It's like a mountain table where it's got the foam up on the sides to make it look like a little mountain valley, and a bunch of buildings inside to make it look like a little inhabited, and like bridges and stuff. It was stellar. It was cool.
Nice.
And Pete is, to me, a wild card. Sometimes he plays, and I'm like, bro, you just kicked my ass. That was horrifying. And then sometimes he plays, and it's like, I'll do this because it sounds funny, and then it just doesn't work. So I didn't know how to approach this game, but I approached it with the best mindset of holy hell, be afraid of Usha. Sure. So I deploy incredibly reserved because Amor Mare will likely kill anything I put up, and Usha will likely, tear through anything I put down. I deployed incredibly reserved, and I was super scared. And then he reserve drops Usha, and I had won the initiative roll, so I chose the better deployment side, but he was going to go first, right? So he reserve drops Usha and drops her right on the button. And I was like, oh, I can breathe. And my reserve drop was a Dadarazi to just like put in front of Usha, be like, I'm going to chain rifle you. I don't care. But what he did on his first turn, I think, was the wrong play, which is this. Let me start by saying this is weird for me to say because I would usually think it's the right play. But he did the mission. He grabbed 2 boxes out of the front middle console with Usha, gave one to McMurrow, and then grabbed the second one with herself and moved like far into a building. And McMurrow was like also in an unreachable place. And but he didn't do anything to me really. He shot a Warcore, a Flashbot, and Kiss with oh gosh, a Highlander Gray. So MSV1
sure.
Heavy Rocket Launcher.
Scots Guard.
Yeah,
Scots Guard. God, I love that I can tell you guys what they have, and you're like, I know it.
Arietta starts to become pretty iffy for me, but I get there's
it's my boys.
So I just spend my turn with Sheeskin, and Sheeskin moving around, and the bugs, doing plasma things, and I shoot the Scots Guard, and I think this is where it begins. I think I crit the Scots Guard once here, and with the plasma sniper rifle. So Scots Guard just obliterates. And then I continue with the bug to shoot his Mormare, who's up on top of a building in suppression, protecting Usha, which is really cool cinematically. And I think
which Mormare was he running?
HMG. He's also playing Wallace as well.
It's the wrong choice.
I continue moving around with the bug and just picking off his poor deployment. He had a couple of dudes who were just like kind of sitting in front of a building, just not really doing anything. But he beat me on dodges, and I'm like, good on you. So, but then I shoot the Mormare, and I don't crit the Mormare, I think. Anyways, so I continue moving Sheeskin, and she puts down Usha, but I can't go pick up the box. And I put Sheeskin into a safe spot on a bridge. Then it goes to his turn. He brings up the Mormare, like stands it up, because I had put 1 wound on it, and then it shoots at Sheeskin, and then it shoots at like 1 shot into the bug, and the bug crit him again. So he's paced. And Sheeskin like beat him on the. I think she had dodged, but she beat him on the dodge, so she's fine.
Oof.
Yeah. So he loses the Mormare, and it's rough. And then he's like, you know what? How good is Sheeskin in CC? And I'm like, 24 with MA4, DAPS4. That's a lot of force. And then he's like, all right, I'm gonna bring Wallace over there. And I'm a dick and a coward because he brings up Wallace and spends a bunch of orders on him. And he allows Sheeskin to dodge. And Sheeskin dodges at the top of the ladder to where when he climbs up, he can't be in base, so he can't CC me. And then he runs away, and then I dodge away into a little safer position, and then he comes back, and I go back onto the ladder. So I'm like, sorry, dude. I know you want to CC me, but you didn't call it out as an honorable duel, so I'm going to be a coward. Oh, that was just funny.
That's pretty good.
Then I just move the bug up much farther, and the anathematic kills another one of his guys that's on a flank and crits him twice and obliterates the dude.
Jeez.
Yeah, I crit him 5 times or 6 times, 5 of which were with plasma. So
yeah, that hurts.
Yeah, that hurts. I was just able to pick everything after that, so I end 10-1.
Yeah, kind of interesting because I don't feel like Wallace. I mean, if Wallace can berserk, maybe, but it's not like he's massively favored in that engagement. Actually, I wouldn't even call him favored, honestly.
I think it's a
martial arts.
No,
it's a coin flip.
It's a straight coin flip. 2v2 24. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, because he's Natural Born Warrior, Berserk +3. He does have the extra burst in
okay.
CC though, and he
Right,
inflicts CC attack -3. So yeah, it's going to be 24 and 24, but he's burst 2 versus burst 2.
No, 27
Yeah.
because of National Warrior. So slightly favored, but
Yeah.
only
Well,
slightly.
if he berserks, he'll get the +3 and be 27. But yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But, you know, a little Benny Hill Shiskin over here.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, and his thing is like immune to crits sounds cool, but it usually doesn't come up that often, and not enough to save him.
It doesn't CC.
That is true.
That's where I get most of my hitting in.
What? What are the
but CC at that level is just we'll swing until somebody doesn't crit.
A little bit.
I didn't point it out, but and now I'm remembering, you're jogging it from me with immunity critical. But the Rindak got crit twice in my game against Sean, so the round 3 Akiel, and I was like, he's immunity critical, and I could tell that, you know, the guy was new because he's like, what does that mean?
Means your crit don't matter. It's just a regular hit.
It's cool. It came up twice. It's like, sweet.
Oh yeah, one thing, it happens 5% of the time.
So yeah, that's round 4.
Yeah. And so to wrap up, you're playing Area of Interest against one of our other locals, the other Josh B.
I got the Josh Eiffel Tower. I got one at the beginning and one at the end.
Yeah.
Which is
but who's the real Josh at the end? Who ranked higher?
Josh B.
Josh B, right? Yeah.
So he's real Josh this round. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's true.
There's a bit of a rivalry between our local Joshes because of these things. So Josh Bosch was on Vanilla Pano, I believe. That's what he practiced with me on last I saw.
Yes. He's running Swiss Guard, Guided Missile with Blocker and Pilot X and 2 Racer Bots, and the Red Eye, and the Crux Knight with the multi-marksman rifle, as as a Scarecrow, and then a bunch of cheerleaders. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah, makes sense. That's a lot of beef.
A lot of beef. Let me say, going into this game, I've already won. Because when he walks away the winner of this, I'm so happy, right? If I walk away the winner of this, I'm so happy. So I couldn't be happier going into this match of the century, because last year we both played top table again. Or not again, the first time. This is again.
Yes.
So we immediately start with, do I play the Avatar? And as my ramblings before, that I said earlier in the episode, basically that same thing, right? So I decide, all right, Avatar, sorry, you don't get a shine. It'll be the anthematic. So we roll our willpower, and at round 5, whoever wins the lieutenant roll gets a free metal die. And Josh won the whip roll and chose to go first because that is probably the correct choice in Area of Interest. The table is pretty good. We're playing on the stream table, so if any of you listeners got to see it, awesome. If not, I believe it's going to be posted on one of their socials for the Salt Lake group. But we're playing, and Josh gets to start. I take a reserve deployment because that's what the list does, and he starts running up, and he basically has a terrible first turn just because he doesn't get a lot done. He moves a Scarecrow or a Camo Marker into the special area of interest. He moves up with a Fennec Fusilier to go and touch the button, and then he fights and kills like an Icadron. He shoots at Shiskin with the Red Eye, which, you know, is good, but she survives, and he kills Kiss after Kiss has already laid a pitcher. So his first turn, not not a whole lot done, but he's got a strong presence on scoring. My first turn, just as bad. I with Kiss try and shoot a pitcher one order late into the round and miss. I move up with the Rindak to go and touch the button, and he reveals the hacker that's in the zone and counters my rolls, so I don't get the button either. And then I bring up the Vector to shoot at the Red Eye because I'm scared of that thing. And then he reveals the Swiss missile, and shoots my Vector, and I roll a 15, 18, 20, and he rolls a 3, and I'm like, hell yeah, this guy's done. So he dies immediately. And then I move Shiskin up a little bit, and basically that's my turn. I shoot at I shot at his Crux Knight and did 1 wound to it. And that was like basically nothing. Oh, I killed the Fusilier who was in the center who touched the button because screw that guy. All he is wounds for Shiskin. But turn 2 got really, really interesting and fun. He responded by being a dick and placing the paramines from the paramine dispenser from the Razor bots, and then moving up the Crux Knight to go and shoot Shiskin. And where those mines were, they were both going to hit the Rindak and Shiskin. And I'm like, oh, dude, this sucks. So he moves up and he shoots Shiskin and the Rindak and puts I think he put a wound on Shiskin. He puts a wound on one of them, and then they get glued in response. But then he spends another order, and then he shoots 1 into the Rindak and 3 into Shiskin. Shiskin passes her dodge, and he rolls higher than the Crux. Rindak passes his dodge, rolls higher than the Crux, and he's just like, "Are you kidding me?" I'm like, a fair response. So then he moves back into retreat. He beats Shiskin, but doesn't beat the Rindak, and he gets glued. So there's just glue all over the center of this board. So then that was mostly his turn. He did some other stuff with the Red Eye, but it wasn't anything crazy. And then he did get to a position that was annoying for me, though. So then to end his turn, he, with the other Racer bot, lays 2 more mines to hit both Shiskin and the Rindak again. But he didn't have any more orders. And it's I don't want to spend an order on either of them because they're in different groups. So, and I'm like out of command tokens at this point. So I bring up the Anathematic, and the Anathematic's like, I got this, and shoots both of the pitchers, or both of the mines. Beats one of them, or hits one of them. Then I'm like, all right, well, I'm not going to stop now. So then he took out the second one. And then Shiskin moves out. She kills puts to unconscious the Crux Knight, and then continues to go and be in the zone. And the Rindak touches the button, and I'm like, sweet. Now I score 2 points. So we're tied 2-2. And then his turn rolls around, and on his second turn, he brings out the Swiss missile to go and shoot Shiskin as well. And she's like, I ain't afraid of you. Crit dodge. So I got lucky there. That's pretty cool.
Nice, yeah.
But on his turn 3, he brings the Swissle around to shoot at Shiskin. And Shiskin is just like, I did this before. I'll do it again. She doesn't crit, but she doesn't care about him.
Jumps out of the way again.
Yeah, jumps out of the way. But then he brings up the Crux Knight with a speedball, and Crux Knight rolls over, puts Shiskin down, and then goes and dominates the center zone. The Red Eye doesn't really do anything. Like, that's largely his turn because that's about all the orders that he had. So for my last turn, I was like, all right, all I need to do is bring up Shiskin. Rindak's right there. All he's got to do is like shoot her, bring her up. And then I was like, but what if I do it with the Anathematic? And ultimately move up the Anathematic, get blitzened by the Red Eye after being discovered. And and then the Rindak runs up and shoots Sheeskin, and she's like, "Where am I?" and comes back, which is great. And I was like, I'm pretty sure the Crux Knight is like 46 points or 45, and Sheeskin is 50s. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure I got it. But let's go ahead and continue our turn. I score a classified, which is heavy infantry, the HVT, and then move back into one of the zones. And Sheeskin's alive, but I'm a dick, and I shot the poor Crux Knight with the anathematic as a final parting blow. And then I end that one at a 7-3 victory.
Very nice. Yeah, I mean, tense games. It definitely sounds like it's pretty hard fought. That all of these games were in some serious contention.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean,
which is awesome.
Against the newest player, I thought was sharking me.
Right.
All that is a compliment.
Yes. Well, awesome. Yeah, it sounds like it was a fun event, and yeah, a lot of fun, kind of wild moments for sure. Like, the kind of things that make the game worth playing.
Yeah.
my favorite is probably Penny Hilling Wallace with Sheeskin.
We were talking about what's your favorite at the Airbnb. We were talking about what's your favorite moment from the event, and I was like, it's probably being a coward and just go dodging back and forth. So, likewise.
Yeah, I did that last time I was at SLS when I played King Butt with a Dalwan, and there was a cutter shooting at it, and he would dodge into a room and would move the cutter, several inches over so he could see into said room. And I would dodge to the opposite side of the room out the doorway. I would move back over. And we did that for about 7 orders.
That's fun.
I did not win that game, but that kept me from being like blown out in the first round at least.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's what it takes.
So, yeah. Well, before we jump into final thoughts, I just want to give a quick shout to our patrons. We really appreciate all of your support for the show. It helps us do what we do and covers various costs of production and all that jazz. And if that's something you're interested and willing to do, you can join us at patreon.com/metachemistry. And we have a handful of benefits to give to show our gratitude for your support. So things like final voting on polls, we have some Patreon-specific channels in the Discord, and early access to episodes and things like that. And as far as the Discord itself goes, that, other than those couple channels, is a freely open community where we'd love to have you. So if you want to tell us your thoughts about SLS or some of these games, or if you want to just have another Discord server to talk Infinity in, because you got to catch them all, you can find it in the show notes, as always. So, with that said, Azoka, any particular nuggets of wisdom you have, things that you feel like contributed to your success? I know you kind of alluded to just mental endurance as being part of it for day one, but were there other things that you felt like, what did you feel like brought you success in this event?
I wish that I could tell you all my favorite advice, which is just play more games, get some more practice. But I didn't do that, so I can't preach to the choir. But I think that it's, Ian brought it up, and it's kind of like what I was thinking as the event went on, is like, cautious move is a skill that can win you the game. And also, if you're stressed on time, don't be afraid to ask your opponent, hey, can we just end it turn 2? And don't stress yourself about those extra turns if that's what you guys agree on doing.
For sure, yeah. I mean, it can be hard to get everything in time, especially those more tense games where you're spending more time trying to think of those. And I suppose a big part of it kind of comes back to, last time we had you and Rob on, where he was talking about making decisions quickly and that can give you more time to do more in your games. So, yeah, absolutely.
True. True.
But yeah, in that case, anything else you want to share about the event or your opponents or kind of anything in general for Acid Last 2026?
I won a hammer, an Ajax hammer. That was super cool.
Sick.
It's like
So sad I couldn't
5'10".
I know it's bigger than me. I'm like, I want that because it'd be so funny.
I'll take it to one of our local events. That so
There
you can hold on to it.
Excellent.
Yeah,
I really wanted to make it out, but so many life events going on.
Yeah,
Yeah, same.
It happens. I showed my fiance. Well, my fiance was there for the winning ceremony. But she was like, "What is that?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's a hammer from this one character." And she's like, "Is it a character that you play?" And I'm like, "No, he's in another faction." She's like, "Oh, you're gonna get more minis, aren't you?" And I'm like, "Well, I have been thinking about it."
Always more minis. Good stuff.
Amazing.
It was a fun prop because mostly because I was reminded of an RPG character you had in one of my campaigns a while back. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. I remember Baze.
Yeah.
Good times.
It's good stuff. Awesome. Well, it's good to have you on the show again, Azoka. Always a pleasure. And congratulations again for taking another satellite. You're going to be going to the Interplanetarium? It's coming up quick.
No.
Fair. It's a trip. Yeah. Awesome. Well, on behalf of Metachemistry, this has been Devin,
Ian,
and Azoka. That's the meta.